Now there's audio. There we go. Sorry, chat. We're here. I had the audio turned off because I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, so unfortunately, you were here
Oh
yesterday.
yeah, let me
But
open up your chat.
yeah, but more or less, I figured, since you're before you decide to move again or get hit by some other kind of like monkey avian flu neurovirus or something like that, we'll try and get you on
Mhm.
anyway. And yeah, so believe it or not, I've been a huge fan of yours for quite a while now. Actually, I used to watch you in the
Thank
army
you.
and all that.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, and you're always like a big highlight of my day when you would put something out.
Oh
And
man, thank you.
when you agreed to hop on, I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like I was like, "Yeah, I got Moonshine." Because I remember we first started talking because of the range made outfit thing, and
Yeah, I was like, this respect. This is the shit I love to do, but everyone would just clown on me for.
yeah,
So I love that you were doing it with like actual firearms, because I would try doing it for like pansy airsoft shit, and I'd still
yeah,
get clowned on.
yeah. We're saying Rye may hop on with us here soon. I'll let her know we're going. But
Hmm.
but Rye is one of those airsoft made folks.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, so more or less, you I consider an expert on something that I'm not an expert on, and that is Figma and the anime action figure thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Like
And
toys.
yeah, because
Hmm.
because I do keychains and patches, and I don't
Yeah.
really do Figma. I've seen Figma. I was
Hmm.
part of the room raid, and we'll get that story here in a bit with the army. But yeah. So when did you get into Figma? Because I know you're a huge fan of anime like me, and I've seen your living room and all the body
Oh,
pillows you have, which is
yeah.
fantastic.
Uh-huh.
But how'd you get into Figma? Like, because you're not just into Figma, you use Figma and you review Figma. So
Mhm.
how'd that whole thing start exactly?
Um, Near the end of high school in 2011, my mom brought back a Luca Megurine Figma from the Japanese supermarket that she was getting stuff at. And she's like, "Oh, this is a toy. You should use it for your stop motion." And
Oh,
before this, I would use NECA action figures and like stuff. So stuff from like BioShock, Assassin's Creed, like very lame
oh,
American toys that
so
aren't
so you're
not
doing
super. Yeah.
so you're doing stop animation way into your youth then. So more you've been that for a long time now, then haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I I learned about it in third grade. I didn't touch it again until like the end of high school, and I'm like, maybe I'll do this as a hobby. And then I got into it. And then yeah, my mom brought me the Figma, and that kind of changed my worldview on stop
I can
motion figures
show you
because
the world because you
no,
basically
basically,
yeah.
because they came
So
with extra hands, accessories, face plates.
yeah, and I want to touch real quick on just your workflow because
Hmm.
many folks can easily consume entertainment. Like like I do audio dramas, other people do like reaction videos, but
Hmm.
your Sigma grind set is I mean you have this huge fucking workload. And can you give us like a little peek into like how much work goes in because basically you're going a pose, a picture, a pose, a picture. Basically you're doing
Yeah.
literally stop animation. So how long does this shit take you?
It really varies depending on what is happening in the scene that I'm making. So something like a figure review can be as short as 2 days to like 2 weeks,
Really?
depending on how complex it is.
Hmm.
Um, that Deino Monogatari thing, I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen all
Thing
your
that,
stuff, yeah.
yeah,
Let's
okay.
say the
So
least.
that took, I think, 2 days, despite how crazy it is because of the amount of assets I had for it already. So it really depends. Like the Among Us things I made,
Uh
really fast. Like Phantom really fast. And then there's shit that I have to make assets for, like ground up because it's like a new thing.
yeah, like you do very in-depth and sophisticated shit posts. Like the
Yeah.
Knuckle Space Marine was one that I
Hmm.
like it scarred my soul deep inside when I
I'm
watched
sorry.
that. And like because you do shit posts to like an absolute insane degree and it's actually
Yes.
entertaining. Like most people will
It's
shit
art.
post. Yeah,
It's art at one point.
well it is art because most guys can shit posts. Like I know a few of my guys in the server, they do like Crusader helmet reaction stuff, and that takes a few seconds. Your
Hmm.
shit post for like 2 minutes of stuff takes probably 6 days of just moving and editing and everything else that goes on with it. So it's like a dedication to, as Ivan said, the Figma grind set. You're going in, you're changing out hands and faces and gear and everything else. And
Hmm.
I don't think a lot of folks really appreciate the amount of work that goes into that, because you're not the only Figma animator on YouTube, but I think you're one of the funniest, and I think it's why people kind of adhere to you so quickly. And I'm kind of curious. You had a lot more videos. Did you do like a clean sweep of all your stuff, or what?
No, YouTube basically sent out a warning saying they're going to take down certain things. So
Why?
anything, it's funny. Some things get under the radar. Some things that should definitely get caught by the radar don't, and some things do. And it's just there's a lot that goes into getting a video ready for an upload,
Uh,
and sometimes it like really fucks me over because maybe I set a whole scene to this one track,
oh, so it's
but the
music
moment it
then.
goes, yeah, it's music. Music's the big thing. There's a lot of things I don't get demonetized for that most people like, they'll show like half a tit and like they'll get demonetized. I'll show on full on violence and I'll get away with it.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's toys. Like that's literally what I think it is. I only really get called out on that stuff when somebody reports me. And unfortunately that's only after a video starts doing well.
Mhm.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, I've not as hardcore, but I kind of get the same thing from YouTube, where like you do this
Mhm.
whole thing, like, oh yeah, you said a bad word, you can't do stuff. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. So when with YouTube kind of crushing down your nuts like they do everybody, like do you try and like do like Patreon stuff, or you just kind of just stay on YouTube?
Yeah, I've been on Patreon since like 2015.
Would you call like this whole Figma animation thing your main job or a side hustle? Like what would you call it
Uh,
exactly?
it is my main job, and I side hustle for Sony when the season rolls around. They
Oh,
call me
really?
over for their MLB The Show stuff,
Oh, okay.
and they have a puppet series. It's called a Coach,
They have a
and
puppet.
I work on that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I work on that and a lot of baseball trailers. Things I'm not passionate about, but it's easy money that'll fund like other things I do throughout the
That
year.
that 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 funds your passions. Yeah.
hmm
Well,
So
thankfully,
yeah.
the taxpayer funds my passions due to military compensation. So I'm funded by the taxpayer, and that makes it a little bit easier. But like, man, just so in the very beginning, you're using action figures, and then you were by your mom introduced to Figma.
Yeah.
And after that point, how hardcore did you go into the whole Figma genre per se? Like, did you go
I
like,
think I went really hardcore because before that I wasn't into anime.
mm,
I was not. Like I grew up with anime a little bit while I lived in Korea with my mom. She would show me like anime on like cassette tapes, like
oh,
DVD, I mean the VHS that she'd bring
yeah,
home from the video store.
mm,
And that'd be my exposure to anime. And then I came over here and I'd only watch what was on Toonami and only if it was like convenient.
yeah,
But yeah, I wasn't really into it. And then getting into Figma, I started watching more animes, trying to see what these characters were about,
mm.
because I try to represent whatever characters I'm using to the best of my abilities. At least in the beginning, I did.
So you
I care a
got,
lot less now.
so you got, so you kind of backdoored into it. You went into anime due to Figma. You kind of backdoored
hmm
your way in. That's interesting.
Yeah, and Luca's not even like like an anime. She's just like a singing program. She's like a Vocaloid.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
so with like Miku
Vocaloids.
Hatsune and all that shit. But yeah,
Thusla,
I still have it.
yeah. So Thusla, I put out like 4 like shout outs. What if I could talk about surprise stream? Good lord. But okay. So early years, you're buying Figma. Now you do a thing where you, in a very unique way, you review Figma. You'll buy these models and sometimes absolutely shit on them, or you'll just review them
Yeah.
entirely. So
hmm
when did you start reviewing Figma?
Uh it was still it was back when I still lived at home. And oh my god, I still have my first figure reviews. They're like just
Oh, do you?
cringy as hell. They're so bad. They're so fucking bad. Like if you no, I'm not gonna actually. Backtracking. Anyway, yeah, it was for a Figma of Kirino Kosaka from Oremo,
Mm.
and that was my very first Figma review. And oh my god, there was just glitch artifacts. Color was all over. Saturation was off. I used those shitty iMovie transitions. Uh,
So let's see,
yeah.
your first foray was that then?
Yeah. But I
Okay.
started that and it just evolved. And eventually, I think around 2018, I started bringing in my girls to start doing it. It started being voiced.
Hmm. Yeah.
and their a personality was attached to each of them, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because
Hmm.
you have a main crew of Figma that kind of go through reviews,
Yeah, my
and
character.
yeah, like Cecilia and a few others where
Hmm.
they're recognizable instantly. But what's funny is that I found you first due to your reviews because I guess hey, this guy's really funny. And it was a guy in the engineer platoon. It was like, hey, have you seen Moonshine? I was like, who the fuck's Moonshine?
Yeah.
Because I was getting into anime due to CQ and staff duties. So basically, as I said yesterday in yesterday's podcast, there's things called staff duty and CQ
Uh-huh.
where you gotta be awake for 24 hours. You
Oh,
cannot go
geez.
to sleep. So
Uh-huh.
I would spend 24 hours watching anime. But before this,
Whoa.
I would kind of watch it off and on like old VHS tapes and all that. But I wasn't really an
Hmm.
anime fan until I hit the army. And like I
Hmm.
said yesterday, there are these are guys who fly helicopters, about 40 years
Uh-huh.
old,
Oh,
that
wow.
have like Strike Witch keychains on their flight suits as they go and fly around. The anime has kind of infiltrated the army hardcore as well as the Marine Corps. And I was telling Rye how in Fort Drum they have her picture up on like a
Oh,
bulletin
nice.
board because it's just one of those things where it's just interesting. They can go and
Yeah.
do stuff. But
Part of the culture now.
it really is because it's part of the culture now. And then he showed, hey, check out Moonshine. So I started watching you, and I was there about, I think 9 years ago. I think actually, but about 2011, 2012. I was watching you full time and kind of like hankering after your videos, and
Hmm.
I think you really exploded out with two videos. I think it was the bread bank video, which I still quote to this fucking day, and then also the Grievous 66
Hmm.
videos, and
Yeah.
those are dope as fuck. And I remember those shotgun everywhere. And like we'll be playing games at the game store. I'd be quoting the fucking Grievous 66 series while like playing Grievous on the board game, killing shit.
Oh.
And then but then like you doing your reviews was the funniest part because you would sometimes I could tell you could like a model and not like a model. So with you,
Right.
you're all about Figma. You can tell the minute details almost
Hmm.
instantly.
Yes.
So when you're reviewing a Figma model, and
Yeah.
what do you look for? What are like red flag? What are the red flags of Figma?
Uh, well, considering you don't buy a bootleg, first off, like you buy the legitimate product from the, official people or like their official distributors. I look for joint tolerances first. So I want to make sure it's not loose,
Mm,
so loose that you can't impose it,
like a
or so tight that you're gonna break this thing because of just the way substances on it has dried, like so paints, sealants, all that, or just even the oils that seep out of plastics. They'll
oils,
play a
really.
hand in like yeah.
So where
So
like
you go ahead.
where do you find like bootleg Figma? Like where do you go to find it? Like
If you
eBay
ever go
or
on eBay or
eBay?
Amazon
Okay.
and they're selling a Figma or any sort of like import product for like too unbelievably cheap,
Uh huh. Oh,
it
okay.
will most likely be a bootleg. And you can check by checking the item description, and if it says Chinese homegrown or Chinese like, oh, they have a policy that forces them to say that they're selling a bootleg,
Mm-hmm.
and this basically protects them from getting their money like reclaimed through PayPal resolutions or whatever, because they're like, well, we did say it was homegrown in China instead of like official Max
Gotcha.
Factory product.
I
Mhm.
see. So I remember like because you'll go in and you'll find these absolutely niche figures, and I think the one where I laughed the most because I deal with this shit all the time was the Mandalorian figure where like they hot glued the
Yeah,
armor into
third
place
party
and all that.
products.
So like you went in on that just a shit on it, didn't you? Like you knew what you were
Yeah, I
getting pretty
bought it
much.
was like a $300 figure, and I bought it knowing I was gonna shit on it, and then make my female my Mandalorian Astolfo.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot of copycat Astolfos around there who you kind of use your like kind of mindset for that. So
No, the main Astolfo guy on YouTube is Pantsa Hat. He's like
really,
the funny, yeah.
the
I
funny Astolfo man.
the funny Astolfo guy is Pantsa Hat. I consider Astolfo like his YouTube territory.
Okay. Ultimate
Yeah.
Brother says, "What's Figma?" So you being the expert, because I know about it, I'm not an expert. What is Figma?
Figma is just a line of action figures from a Japanese toy company called Good Smile Company, and they're basically just high-end anime posable toys. They're dolls, they're figures, and they are non-scale is what they say, but they're generally like 1/12 scale, and they can have stuff coming from anime to pop culture, anything.
Figma balls. Shut up, Ivan. God damn it. All right. But it's kind of funny because like Figma is actually really, really old, like Meiji period old. And I kind of looked into it, and Figma came in because Germany couldn't make Germany was the biggest toy maker back in the day. About the late 1800s, early 1900s, Germany was where all the toys were made. But due to some like World War or whatever happened, no one wanted to buy German stuff. So Japan picked up on like toy manufacturing, like doll manufacturing. And they started out with like tin and celluloid. And I'm sure you know what celluloid is. They're really early plastics. And then basically after World War II, Japan picked right back up. And they've been literally headlining doll production forever. And it seems like compared to like most action figures, Figma has its own little niche. Because I remember buying like these giant, historically accurate G.I. Joe things that were posable and had like SCG 44s and Garands and all that. Very, very like intensely.
1/6 scales.
Yeah, like very, very accurate the depictions of what it was. And it's funny how like there's that, and then there's like these Figma where like extreme minutia details. What do you think is like who makes the best, or not who? We'll say it this way: what show / anime has the best Figmas out there? Because I know a lot of guys will crane and crow about Kantai Collection a lot of the time because they have very in-depth Figma. But what anime has like the most and best Figma? Do you think?
That's really hard to say because so Figma had these periods. They have the 1.0, which is the 2008, and which when the first Figma came out, and going forward, and then they entered a not disclosed, but like technically a 1.5 section where the joints changed from ball pegs to pegs, just flat, so no more and the reason for this was the ball pegs got stuck inside the wrist and would break off often. So now
you say ball picks, but my mind doesn't correlate what you're talking about.
Like
what
a
the
ball
word
peg,
is.
like the
ball peg. Okay,
ball peg, yeah.
I was hearing ball picks. I was like, oh my god, no, brain, stop it. Ball pegs, gotcha. Okay, track it.
And basically, the quality of Figma has changed so much, and their engineering has gotten so much better, which also explains like why they charge so crazy nowadays. You could get a high quality Figma back then for like $40. Now they're like
I
90 and above.
Yeah, I noticed like there's a huge like price discrepancy, and I didn't realize this thing called garage kits were a thing. But
garage kits is more like homemade.
Yeah, but like the price was exorbitant. Like it was like this huge.
Yes, because they're independently created. So if I sold garage kits of my figures, they'd be probably pretty up there because I'm one person doing it all.
Well, that's
as opposed to a huge company with backers in China, factories, manufacturing.
Okay,
all that.
So garage kits are like privately made and sold. Then.
Yes, independently sold. There are events in Japan, AK Garden, Comic Kit, where they sell these kits, and oftentimes if your favorite girl from a show or game doesn't have a figurine or whatever, and the guy artist making this is like, yo, there's a market for this character, he'll make it and he'll charge whatever he wants because someone's gonna buy it.
I see.
Yeah.
And then like I remember the most expensive ones are garage kits or like the resin statues and BJD dolls, the ball.
BJDs are ball jointed dolls, and they are a completely different field.
Really?
But they are very expensive because of the amount of the time it takes to do a face up, which is what they call the makeup process of doing their faces. And you have to buy eyeballs for them. You have to put their wigs on, their hair.
Really?
You have to apply skin tones. Their joints are actually held together by string tension.
Really?
Outfits are mostly unless you buy them from like a manufacturer, they're like custom tailored. Okay. And Yeah, they're usually 1/3 to 1/4 scale. So they're like, if you've seen them in person, they're like the size of a small child.
Really? No shit. Like they're
And a
that
lot
big.
of BJD collectors, they refer to their dolls as their daughters, just because of the amount of money and upkeep it takes to like maintain one of these
That's
things.
kind of creepy a little bit.
It is. I mean, there is a stigma associated around BJDs just because of the whole creepy doll notion, you know? And like some of them, like they have realistic eyeballs. I'm more of a fan of the more anime looking ones, but
Yeah.
definitely there are ones that are just a little too anatomically correct in like many parts, and I'm just like, that's really intense, you know?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you indulge in ball joint like torture? Those like little tiny doll.
Thank you for flying Gorgon
Saddle,
Airlines.
thank you. Do you have any of
This
those
is
giant
interesting.
dolls or
9
no?
months. You're father to my
Um,
first Twitch baby.
I did
Give
consider
me
it
child
once just to
support.
use as like a big like scary like big puppet enemy thing,
Uh huh.
but the string tension wasn't doing it for me. It was really tough to work with. My character, the big black abyssal thingy,
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
probably the biggest thing you've seen, and she's like, you know, you've seen pictures of her. She's giant.
yeah. I
But
keep up with a bit of your stuff. The terms don't stick very well because I have massive brain damage, but
no,
I've seen
that's
your
fine.
stuff.
That's
Yeah,
fine. That's fine. Yeah.
yeah.
But her head is 3D printed, and the rest of her body is a steel armature that I control via rivets and stuff.
Oh,
So like,
so how much of your stuff is custom? Would you say, like currently, of all yeah, your movie Figma, your work Figma? How much of that is custom made? And how much is like default per se?
um, it's gradually getting to a point where I'm like kind of weaning out all the mainline IP stuff
Hmm.
and just making a name for myself with my own IPs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you have plans to go fully private then with your own
The
IPs, your own stuff.
Yeah, I mean the original idea was to have a fully original series, but
Uh-huh.
the thing is when you make an original story with original characters, it's hard to gain traction. Nobody looks for that stuff.
Tell me about
But you
it.
know, if you right? But let's say you slap that shit in with like Minions or Roblox or Fortnite or whatever, and people watch, right?
Hmm.
People watch. And that was the original mindset. Now I'm like, you know what? I have enough of a fan base that I don't need to be doing this cringy like meme shit or like trying to expand my reach with like popular characters because that shit doesn't work for me, you know.
Well, thing is, I'm glad you brought it up. A lot of the other Figma animators do use that to kind of
They
prop
do.
themselves
And
up.
they do well. Yeah, they do
Yeah.
well.
Well,
It just doesn't work for me.
it's kind of a cheat code. You kind of go, well, like we talked about last night about anything with like Konosuba can prop you up almost immediately with whatever you're doing because people will watch it because they like Konosuba. But you're trying to go purely personal and legit. Then you want to do your own things in your own time and your own designs.
I think that's what people like from me.
Oh yeah, well, because it's why there are larger channels out there that I could
Mhm.
watch, but they're not nearly as entertaining. You know what I mean? Like you're actually entertaining. Other ones are just kind of they're actually kind of they're kind of cringy. Like when I watch them, I kind of go ugh. Like
Uh-huh.
there's not very entertaining, and they
I
kind
mean,
of go on weird
I
tangents.
think I have my fair share of cringe. Like, I don't think anyone's immune or
Well,
safe from the cringe.
at least your cringe is even, at least funny. Their cringe is just cringe.
Uh,
Like I think the cringiest thing you've made so far is that damn Space Marine Knuckles thing. I was like, ugh,
you don't like him? It's okay. He just got sold. It's
What
fine.
was it? You called him Primaris Ugandis or something? The
Yeah,
fucking
Gaga Cibolas,
got.
primary Shuganis.
That's right, Ugandis Ebolas. That's right. I see.
He's
And
yeah.
and speaking of like workload, workspace. Like me, I'm a writer. I have my desk.
Mhm.
You gotta do all this different shit. So like,
Yeah.
and you move too. Like I remember you
Yeah.
said you cut your space down by like what 80% or something like that. So like
Feels like it. Fuck.
yeah. So like how much space do you need to do this stuff? Do you need a lot of space, a little bit of
um,
space?
it really depends. Some guy, some of these guys in Japan, these animators, they work out of their, one tiny desk and they do just fine. But I like a lot of space because I like building sets. I like having a physical, like, you know, backdrop that isn't green screen.
Mhm.
I value that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So and I have a shit ton of tools. I have a shit ton of things in storage.
Hmm.
Backdrops to look realistic. You need to put them like sufficiently far back enough so that they can blend with the camera.
Yeah. I
cameras
see
like
that.
you. And my particular style requires me to have a lot of space, but you definitely don't need that much because when I first started, I had nowhere near that much space, and I did just fine.
Yeah. And speaking of the future, like, do you still plan on doing reviews, or you want to do your own your own animatics? Then you want to try and keep both the exact same thing, or try and go in a whole different direction? Like, what is your plan exactly for doing this Figma thing?
Well, I have 5 or 6 reviews that I have planned so far that I just owe to the people because I said I would do them.
Just owe to the people.
I owe to the people, so I got to do those first. But after that aside, I want to finally hunker down and start making the content that I want to make instead of like thinking is gonna do well and my heart's not in it. I do a lot worse when my heart's not in it. So.
And that's one thing where like doing what you want to do because you want to do it. Like me writing books, I do it because I want to do it and I like doing it. And I'll probably never get rich doing it. More than likely, it's never going to happen because people don't want to publish me because I write things the way I want to write them, and some folks fucking hate that. It's why I like you, because you're very different in what you do. And there are a few of the creators like you, but it seems like we're like I'm not gonna toot any horns or like grab anyone's balls, but we're kind of like a different breed because we don't want to like nose in on the easy cash grab. Like I don't think I've ever seen you sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends or whatever.
I was sponsored by.
Were you?
Yeah.
Which video?
Megatron with the Decepticons read comments. Yeah.
Why?
I take sponsorships when I feel like it's gonna fund something bigger.
Ah, okay, I see.
But I also put my heart into my sponsorships to make sure it's at least fun to watch. So
gotcha.
A lot of the comments I get on my sponsorships, people are like, "That was the only sponsorship like fun to watch," or like, "Wow, I actually sat through that one because it was fun to watch." And that lets me know at least I did a decent job at making it entertaining, even if they don't, fucking click the link or whatever. I don't really give a shit, right? I don't care if these brands cooperate with me again.
Yeah.
Like I'm like this recent one I did for Date A Live.
For what?
Fucking killed me. Date A Live. It's a.
Oh, the Kurumi one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. I wanted to kill myself because like I'm in the middle of a move. The toys they did not send over. I had to get them myself out of pocket. Were shit,
Really?
and they were like, this goes back to the whole. They're not Figmas, by the way. They're awful. I had to modify them.
They're awful.
They're awful. They're from a company called Pulchara. But
So wait a minute. So they sent you things to review that were awful, and you had to pay for them, and you had to actually go ahead and modify them too.
The Date A Live one, it wasn't a review. It was just they wanted to see 3 of their girls from their show game fighting, and I'm like, okay, sure.
Okay.
But it's like Figma is working on 2 Date A Live Figmas, so I'm like, hey, you guys are Date A Live, why don't you get me like these Gucci ones that they have by Figma, so it makes my life easier, and gives me more incentive by having something ahead of the market, That's kind of cool. But they're like, no, sorry, only money. I'm like, fuck.
Fine.
And then yeah.
But by the way, has the Haunted Rye sold yet or no? Or Ray, the blue-haired one?
Oh, the Rem.
Yeah, Rem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She sold. Everything sold.
It haunts my dreams, dude. Like her eyes follow you wherever you go. It's not.
It's amazing. I love it.
And so
I wish the people I lived with loved it too. But
well, so speaking of that, you had too much Figma, right? You had to try and sell some stuff off.
So every year I sell my excess because of the nature of my work. I always buy in doubles or triples.
Really? Oh, for more parts.
Just in case things break. It's easier that way. But usually, I will end up selling the excess, and sometimes even the original, because I'm like, well, I used you for what I needed. Goodbye,
Yeah, I can see that.
But right now, this big sale, why it was so big was I'm like, okay, I just need to declutter like things that I don't need to be working with, like things that I don't see myself working with in the future, and just get it out, clear out my just mental space, and just work on what's important, what's in front of me.
I got you. So, like, do you have is like all your Figma? Like, remember And I'll tell the story here in a bit, but like those big glass display cases, you display your Figma, or is it mostly like a work thing for you? Like, do you have like a big display case of all like your fancier Figma or nah?
I have 3 display cases, like technical actual display cases.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them are wood with glass, and those hold unmodified figures as they are, as I got them out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
And in the center is a all clear glass one that I keep all my modified and originals in. So my custom creations and characters.
I see.
And then these are all most likely for the high-end figurines. Everything in between, I place them everywhere, like on shelves, downstairs, in racks and boxes, in body bags.
And out of pure professional curiosity, how many body pillows do you own? Because like I watch your Twitter
Currently
and
currently filled body bags.
Like
I body pillows.
body
bags. Body bags. Currently filled body pillows. I sleep with about 4 of them, and they are M99 from Girls Frontline, Aofiala from Arc Knights, Enju from Black Bullet, and my fiance's, which is Hestia from Danmachi. And then I have a shit ton of Tamama ones in storage. I have 1 Kashima from Kantai Collection.
Mm-hmm.
I have who the fuck? Midway from Kantai Collection.
Oh, Midway, really?
And yeah, I love that Abyssal. She's my favorite. I also live by the Midway, so it's like I like my local ship. And what is it? Oh, and Adult Jack the Ripper.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and Jean from PSO2.
Yeah, because I'll see your Twitter, and your fiance must be horribly patient with you. You know?
Oh no, she loves them too.
She does. Okay.
She's a big fucking weeb. So.
Oh, nice. I can't say the same.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, like the only body pillow I have is a giant. You know the giant L-shaped centaur body pillows?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Yes, someone sent me one of those, and it's got like the half nude side, and it kind of sits in the background because I don't know what to do with it. One of the guys sent it to me, and then the only Figma I own is another gift from another fan. It's a Nindroid Tato Kantai Collection figure. It's like the Northern Princess. She's holding like a plane.
Oh yeah.
That's like the only one I have. And
Oppo.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like I was like, what the fuck? Like I was like, is there like a tracking device in this? It's like a honeypot figure. What is this? You know?
I have 2 T-shirts with her on it.
Oh, do you?
I'm bad English.
I'm slowly breaking more and more into like the actual merchandise aspect of anime because you should just watch it. I have my morale patches, and then I have all my keychains. Like I like Girls in Panzer keychains and brain fart. The tank one.
That's Girls in Panzer.
Thank you, Girls in Panzer. I have all those keychains. And I wear those on my guns and on my rig and all that. But I'm slowly I'm getting more into the actual like the little statue things. I don't because you see I can't spend $100 on a statue. I don't know how guys can do that.
$100 is pretty cheap for a statue.
Yeah, and I guess I'll tell the story now because I know a lot of folks probably know the story, but on one of the bases where I was stationed at, there was a Joe who was spending all of his money. And he wouldn't go out. He wouldn't buy alcohol or booze or go to goat carts. He would stay in his barracks room and buy all this stuff. He had tons of packages coming in. This was during the big spice epidemic, in bath salts. So Command was worried that he was buying bath salts and staying in his room and getting high all day. So they want to do a health and welfare. Jake Artman, I think, for following. And I was an MP, so they call us up. It was our day for road day. And we get if there's a first sergeant there, his fucking commander's there. It was like a lieutenant of some variety, and his NCOs. And like, hey, we gotta get in here and find the bath salts. So I was like, okay, whatever, because we do that every fucking day. It seemed like. Get the room code, tap it in, and we go inside. And the barracks rooms are L-shaped, so there's a little entry hallway with like a little kitchenette, the bathroom, and then a J hooks off into the main like living quarters. And I remember I could smell how clean the air was. Like this isn't bath salts or K2 or cocaine or crack. It's too clean. It was immaculate. I remember I saw like the shaggy pink rug kind of poking out from the main living quarters. I was like, interesting, and it was bright. I remember
Yeah.
I went in first, gun drawn, and kind of turned the corner. This guy, just in terms of prices, must have had at least like 20 grand of like Figma, and like IKEA glass cases along the entire wall. And he had like the safe for work Figma and the not safe for work Figma, like the giant bouncing booby Figma.
That wouldn't be a Figma.
It wouldn't. It would
No.
be like a statuette or something like that.
Figmas. Yeah, so there's like too many brands to count off, but I'm pretty sure he had all sorts of anime figures.
Okay, so there's
But
Figma and figures, and it's different.
yeah, just anime figures
Yeah.
should work for what you're going for.
Yeah, so basically he had all that, like a whole wall of this shit. And then he had like the anime booby mouse pad and like and like multiple. He had like a 3 monitor setup with like this huge anime spread along top of it.
Yeah.
And that was my first actual exposure to like Figma and figurines, was that, as well as his command structure and the first sergeant and the sergeant major showed up just to come see what the fuck's going on. Well, like that's what I first got into contact with. That was that. I was like, what the fuck is it? Because I've been just started getting anime due to staff duty, and I walk in on like this pinnacle of weebism going on in this barracks room, and I wasn't prepared for that. Like he had all the booba and all the waifus, and he had all the body pillows. It was wild. He was cleared of all suspicion, obviously, but you get whole new reputation going on for him.
New stigma.
Yeah, new stigma. And
He's that guy.
and it's around that
He
time where I
becomes
started
that
going to
guy.
more cons too, and
Uh-huh.
it seems like there's like a mini economy for figurines and Figma.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and like, do you guys like trade it back and forth? Is it like a black market for Figma or what?
No.
No,
No.
No?
I mean, if you have a rare figure, sure, you could charge whatever the fuck you want for it, whatever crazy price, but you don't have to buy it. But some guy out there, he might want it and he might pay. Like
he might pay.
from Metal Gear Phantom Pain, I sold a Sahelanthropus 1/100 scale. And this isn't a Figma or an anime figure, it's just a robot, right?
hmm
But it was used, and I'm like, I wonder how much this will go for. And I looked on eBay, and this shit was going for over $1,500, and I'm like, Jesus. And this is for like new. So I put it for at a daring $700 for used, and I'm like, maybe it sold out within the day.
Jeez,
So
It was just
people,
done.
these sell. That's why. This is why I just hold on to these sometimes or buy extras because they mark up in value. The girls' frontline thing was of 45 and 40. They for 40, 9, not 40. They're expensive together, even more
UMP,
so. Yeah, UMP.
I love folks go
Yeah, I always
cracks
go
me up.
90. Hook 417. No, that's 416. Yeah, HK.
So, in terms of making your animations, which kind do you prefer? Because there's Nendoroid, there's Articulated, there's BJD, there's all this stuff.
Well, Nendoroids are those chibi ones that you have the white little thing with the horns. Northern. That's Nendoroid. They're chibis. Figma, SH Figuarts, D Arts, whatever. There's like this whole market of posable 1/12 scales. They're not all Figmas. I blend them all. And all of them I blend and I use what I want from each company, what figure, and I make my custom figures out of them.
So you quite literally make your own dolls to
Yeah,
work
and
with.
this is why so many people comment that I'm like Sid from Toy Story or like Frankenstein or whatever.
Sid from Toy Story? Good lord.
Yeah, I get that comment so much.
Really?
They're always like, this would be Sid from Toy Story if he grew up. And then of course, always every now and then you get one guy that's like, if he was Asian. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, that's fine.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Asian Sid, bro, from the Japanese movies.
Yeah. So in terms of the videos you deleted, are there any you're gonna remake? Because like I love the Slav Lolly video so much.
Oh, the music video.
Well, like I literally name dropped that in my book series. Like that's how much I enjoyed that video. And Slav Lolly is hilarious in general. I know Rye likes her a lot.
I took that one down out of respect for the original music artist because he asked nicely.
Oh, did you?
I didn't have to take it down.
Okay. So
Yeah,
so he actually contacted you then and asked.
Yeah, and he was the only one that I took down willingly because he was polite about it, and I respect that.
I see.
But YouTube basically took the hammer down on a lot of my videos. They're like, you could take these down or get a strike. And I'm like, I will take them down.
Very well. And Sandy, have you plans of like remaking those or nah?
as a meme, I want to do the whole, then and now kind of thing. One day.
Yeah.
One day.
Because
Maybe I'll.
because Minislav has had an evolution though, hasn't she? Like she was like this little tiny, and now she's actually her own full character now. It seems like
She wasn't supposed to be. She's like the kid you didn't want to have. The accident. That is what she is to me. I hate how much people love her. I genuinely hate.
do you
Comments are
really?
Like, where? I hate it. I genuinely hate it because I'm like, look at all these sick ass characters, and they're like, where's the cringy Russian fake lolly? And I'm like, ugh. And they're like, oh, no potato, not watching. Bye. I'm like,
Yeah,
why
that's
even?
because you'll see in your comments. No, you'll see in your comments. No potato, bye. It's literally, it'll be like
Yeah.
hundreds of those going through.
And then there's was like, but can she squat or can he squat? Can it squat? I'm like, oh my god.
Which does show like how articulated the model is, I guess. How far can it squat? And I remember like a lot of those you have them fail, and it is fucking hilarious to be frank with you. Like it's because it's funny when things fail to squat, and you kind of go because some can squat just fine, and others cannot, and it does show like how well they bend.
And sometimes it's a design issue, and you can't blame it because if you want to maintain that kind of accuracy to the character's looks.
Now, if you allow me,
yes,
do you have any more plans for the forbidden anime girl you made?
Hitler?
Yes.
Yeah.
You do. Awesome.
I have a whole series for her.
Do you really?
She works at a taco shop. And she's like the bitch, and she monologues to every customer who's just like, I just want my fucking tacos.
So instead of soup Hitler, or soup Nazi, you have taco Nazi in that regard.
Yes.
Awesome. Because I remember like when that first showed up, me and my friends lost our shit. We were at the range when that video dropped, and we stopped shooting and pulled because my friend he's Air Force, he's an Air Force like tech guy. He had a huge fucking tablet, and he pulled it out, and he goes, dude, look, new video. And I was like, what the fuck? Because
next time you watch sick shit of mine on your sick ass army gear, can you take a picture of you guys watching it on the sick ass army gear?
Sure.
I'll frame it, okay?
Sure.
I'll frame it. Every picture you said, I'll frame on my wall.
I'll try and get you one. I'll go to Nugget Fest and try and get you one over there too. Because
a lot of my patrons are veterans.
That does not surprise me at all. But like that, I thought was hilarious, and the fallout was to me even fucking funnier.
Yeah.
Because some folks can't take a fucking joke. And I thought that was peak artistic creation.
Yeah, I lost like 4,000 subs and then gained 7,000. So I'm like, well, that's how you weed out the weebs. I mean, the losers.
I mean,
snowflakes.
And it's one of those things where, you got to push the boundaries somewhere. And I do it my way. And you popped out with Hitler Chan, and I fucking lost my shit. And like, we couldn't shoot for like half an hour because we kept laughing.
It started because a fellow creator of mine, he's making a series for his thing, and he has a lot of racially insensitive slurs and the derogatory things personified as anime girls.
No shit.
And I love the designs for them. They're just so clever. But one of them is White Supremacy Chan, and she's this cute blonde girl. And her hair, the more you look at it, the more it looks like a swastika.
Really?
You wouldn't tell. You wouldn't be able to tell until she really looked. But that was the design. And I'm like, oh, I see it after he pointed it out. He's like, I don't know if I should do this. And I'm like, fuck it. I'll make a white supremacist channel.
Just fucking send it, bro.
Yeah. I'll fucking test the waters for you, bro. So I made Hitler Chan, and he's like, you fucking monster. And I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm putting this out.
You fucking monster. And that's one thing I'll point out where like, because you're kind of a comedian. Would you agree or no?
I think the thing is nobody laughs around me in person.
Really?
So yeah, I genuinely think humor is my weakest.
Man, because see, to me, you're always a comedian. In like how I saw you, you're a comedian first and a reviewer second.
Wow, no, that is so wrong. But go on.
Well, this is how I viewed you, because I thought because like watching your stuff, I thought because basically in your reviews you're still fucking funny. Because I for a long time I thought you're actually a comedian who did this as a side gig, and the more I learned, the more I realized, oh, he's just doing this as his main gig. I thought you were a comedian who moonlighted as a Figma artist.
Literally just a dude that plays with toys in his garage.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, but in my opinion, you are a comedian, and I don't know if you agree or not. but you make funny things. You make things funny. And one of the things is it comes into the same thing as like creators trying to, comedic creators trying to be funny. And you doing this Hitler Chan, the name rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Hitler Chan.
Yeah, it
but
is.
but you did it and you were hilarious. It was funny. And I would go and watch the reaction videos of these overly dramatic soy boys like, I can't believe he would do this. And
There's reaction video?
oh yeah, you don't know?
What?
You don't know?
No, I don't know. I know one soy boy.
Yeah, there are about 5 or 10 reaction videos of Hitler Chan, and they're like, I can't. It's so insensitive. How could he do this? Like it's a joke. Like it's supposed to be funny. It's a funny thing.
It's satire.
It is satire. Like you're kind of making fun of Hitler, and not only reviewing his fucking miniature, which is in itself satire, but then you went and made a custom Hitler Chan. And like, how long did it take? How long did that process take to make Hitler Chan? By the way.
The biggest part is waiting for the figure to arrive from China because it's so this isn't a Figma either. This is from Bean Jello, which is a Chinese company.
Okay.
And because China does a lot of things that are not, let's say, legal in the production department, they always come out with these crazy third-party titles for names. So for Hitler, they couldn't get the official licensing for the name of Adolf Hitler, so they called it Devil King, right?
Devil King, that's right.
Devil King.
That's right. Devil King.
So yeah, Devil King. Devil King took a while to show up. I bought extra outfits of Devil King here and there because I wanted to have like multiple outfits for him.
Yeah, like there's 2 hats, 2 outfits, 2 boot styles, all the hands.
And then for the anime girl that we used as the base, we got a Kotobuki as 1/12 scale Saeki Ritsuka figure, which is a model kit, and you basically assemble. You see me assemble this.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like you spread her hair out and all that. But I was wondering how long that took to create.
I made her in like a day.
Really? Because you just belted that out in one day.
Yeah, like that's. I think someone like commented that earlier in the chat. What the fuck they say? They said, "Man's doing the work of a full team." I really do. I really do everything but.
Well, you
voice acting.
Yeah, because you manage. You can't do it. You kind of manage voice actors.
Yeah,
and your fiance is one of them, correct?
She does not voice act.
No,
she just doesn't even read the script. She says what she wants to say, and that's why her character is so chaotic and unfitting in my world because she will not read the script.
I was kind of laughing with one time.
We fight all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of laughing because one time you're trying to demonstrate how to hiss in one of your videos. Like,
oh, that's Emily. Yeah,
that's Emily. Yeah, and I was kind of laughing because I do the exact same shit with my voice actors. Like, make a sound like this, no, like this, and it's like so. Like, how do you feel about? Because I felt this way about a couple months ago. How do you feel knowing that you're managing voice actors? Did you ever see yourself being so large you would manage other people working for you because you're kind of a boss or like a foreman? Did you ever see yourself like managing voice actors and doing all these videos and being on YouTube and having tens of thousands of views, if not like triple digits of reviews for your stuff? Do you ever see it going that way? Because I think you're sitting at about 450,000 subscribers or whatever.
Around there, sure.
Did you ever see yourself getting to that point where like you have your own lore now? Like there's basically a Moonshine wiki, I believe, of all your stuff.
Yeah, it's very wrong. Everything on this is very wrong. I don't know who the fuck's in charge of that shit, but it's very wrong.
It's
bad
me.
Picture of me too, by the way. Oh, it's you?
No.
Yeah, but yeah.
But
I always imagined that I would have a very slow crawl towards the top, but I've always known people that like my stuff would like my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't ever see myself being like a big fish. I look at myself as like a deep sea fish, if anything. If like all these top dogs on YouTube are like dolphins and like barracudas and sharks that like hang out on the top of the ocean where everybody loves them and sees them and shit, I'm like an anglerfish. You like go down a little deeper and you're like, what the fuck is that? But I like it. That's me. I'm more like that. Not very popular. I'm alone. I don't have a community. I don't have friends. But you see it and you're like, I'm horrified but intrigued. That's me. When you see a deep sea animal.
I can't believe it. I say like, how does Moonshine see himself as an anglerfish? It's quite.
I do. I really see myself. I almost was gonna make an anglerfish V2 model, but then there was already a Korean guy that does an anglerfish V2 model. I'm like,
oh really?
Fuck. Had to be a Korean male like me.
Those goddamn Koreans, bro.
I know, right?
Because
yeah.
it's just
That's how I view myself.
as an anglerfish. Well, I guess that's you in Girls and Panzers as well. You're all anglerfish.
Oh right, their anglerfish is a lot cuter
yeah,
though.
Yeah. So like, how did you get to the point where you started naming your characters? Because you have Cecilia, Lily or
Lilia Resnia.
What's that fucking goober's name? Breadbank. Alouette. And then you have that giant, one.
Yeah. Juku.
So when did you start naming your characters per se?
So Cecilia is basically the patron saint of music in Catholic religion. I'm a big music guy.
Oh yes, Catholics, pagans in disguise.
Yeah, vampires and shit.
Vampires and shit.
But Cecilia is like the first of like all her Death Engine sister thingies in the lore. So I'm like, oh, she should be the top dog, which is in at least musical lore. Cecilia, the saint of music.
I see.
That's how her name came about. Resnia is just Russian for massacre or carnage, and I literally just Googled translated edgy words in different languages until I found something that I liked how it sounded, and I'm like, and now if you Google Resnia, you don't get Russian news outlets of like bombings and murders. You just get this anime chick. So I'm like, that's my little plot of internet that I own.
This is my corner. My corner.
Yeah, my corner. This Russian word in English, I own it.
And then and of course there's Potato, which
Potato's just Potato.
She's the
She does have her actual lore and like a grown-up figure now and everything too.
Really?
So,
oh, she has a grown-up figure now. Really?
She's developed. It'll show up.
You've had to age up your Slav lolly, is what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, for her own series.
Oh, for her own series. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I plan to have my main characters take a backseat after their shit's done.
Really? So you're progressing quite forward then. You're going to start making
I
whole new
have a
things.
ton of stuff written out, and I think the biggest thing for me for making content is like maintaining consistency and continuity. And you as a writer, you probably understand that too, right? You want to make sure details line up, your world is consistent.
The amount of Google Docs I have is just insane.
I completely understand you. I feel you on that. And
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. And I write everything off my like notepads on my tablets and my MacBooks and shit. So
Are you gonna start like, because you're gonna try and like infiltrate any other franchises like Star Wars or stuff like that, and try and like, because you did Dinjarin as a review, but you're gonna like start like kind of like leeching in towards other franchises? Because I think the other ones you really got into so far is like Games Workshop and what else? Because I think you did a lot of Girls Frontline and then Space Marines, because they're easy to make fun of. Master
Dude,
Chief.
that community like hates me, bro.
Really? Well, hold on. Games Workshop hates you? Why?
Well, the Games Workshop fanboys hate me.
Why?
Because I clown on their Giga Chad Marines with these little anime girls, and their power fantasies being clowned on and taken away from them.
Really? I did not know that. So you get hate mail from Star Wars?
Not so much hate mail, but the hate comments, they trickle in.
Oh, they do. So, since you brought up the subject, how many other fandoms revile you?
Let's see.
Let's see. Pulls out a scroll. Shh.
No. I'm trying to think if any other hate me, because I don't think anyone's really come after me. Really? Yeah, no, I don't. I think only Games Workshop. I think Games Workshop is notable because they have.
That's not really surprising either. They'll take the moves.
Even when I like did the Hitler thing, I was expecting like people to come after my ass, but it was like.
Well, thing is, it was funny.
Really
it was a good joke. I mean, if you scroll through the comments, you'll see them here and there. And there are those who are using you as like rage fuel for content because they review the videos, but like they don't laugh. I'm watching the reaction and I'm laughing even harder because they're not laughing at where the jokes are. And like I know they're ignoring it. I'm like, fucking laugh. And in terms of Hitler Chan, do you plan on going out and doing any other dictators like Mussolini Chan or?
I wanted to do Kim Jong Un as like a cute like fat chick.
Oh
but
God.
We'll see. See, these things happen very naturally. I have to see like the perfect model. That's I'm
do
like,
you?
oh, that's like Kim Jong Un's like front bangs. You know, and I'll be like,
Oh,
that's perfect.
so you
Yeah.
saw that female character went, you are my so you saw that character went, you are my female Hitler, and bought her pretty much.
Well, she had blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm like, she's like the perfect Aryan female.
She is the perfect Aryan child.
And then, and I got it, and then I got together with my council of like content creators that make mean things, and I was like, do we make her hair black and brown like Hitler, or do we keep it blonde and keep it white supremacy? And they're like, I don't know, maybe we go for accuracy. We go accuracy. Okay, agree. Okay, accuracy. Meeting adjourned.
So you have
a black hair.
So you have a cabal of these content creators. One dude.
It's like one dude and like one other dude, or whoever wants to talk to me or try to convince me from not doing it.
Man, I could make an entire podcast out of them probably.
Yeah,
Like, give me your worst joke and see how it goes from there.
I don't think I have a worst joke. Well, see, the thing is, I don't think of jokes. I just feel like I write things I would like to see, and I animate things I want to see, and that's really how I go with it.
Yeah. Do you have any more plans for like the Grievous 66 videos or like?
I have a Decepticon 99 plan.
Do you Decepticon 99?
Yeah, where and it's basically the spiritual continuation of it, where Megatron is now the Captain Holt, and every one of the Decepticons is a different member of the 99 crew.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's gonna be highly.
Well, that'll happen when it happens.
Do you ever plan on getting a full crew? Because right now it's just you and your VAs. You ever plan on expanding out to having like guys who are you can say, all right, move your arm up, down, have like a team where you can kind of crank them out faster, or you want to keep it purely by your own hand? Because some guys, like me, want to do it by our own hand and create by our own fingers and have no one else touch it. But you, I mean, it's a lot of work doing what you do. Do you plan on staying just in my fingers, or get a few handy helpers in the future? Like, what's your plan in that regard?
I have people that compose my music. I hire them.
Thank you for flying Gorgon Airlines.
3D modeling. I hire them out of Russia.
Resubbing for the Potato Man and my favorite author talking.
Also China. But that's all, production stuff, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like actual filming, how would I collab with anyone? They would have to come to my garage.
Well, I mean, you probably find someone who's like, I'll like you pay them to probably like click the button for you. All right, snap, click, and you can do your pose and snap, click.
No, that's such a fucking waste of time and money. No.
You're like, nah, bruh, nah.
No. I mean, set building. What I used to do for set building is I called the boys over and we would all set build all day. They'd just cut cardboard boxes, glue shit together, paint them black, and then paint on popsicle sticks to make it look like wooden structures and stuff, and just I'd buy them dinner and that'd be it. We'd have a chill time.
Oh, so
that'd be third party help, but they're my boys. And
so it's kind of a hangout thing, though.
Yeah, it's a hangout. We all talk and
so
hang out. Yeah, it's chill. Yeah,
we're hitting an hour, so I'm just gonna ask you a few personal questions if you don't mind. Like,
go ahead.
You like Figma, you like figurines, you like doing stop animation and wearing bunny outfits, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
What other things are you into? Like in terms of like cars, guns, airsoft.
Oh, I love guns.
Bass fishing.
I'm a big fisherman. I come from a fishing harbor in Korea, so fishing's a big part of my life.
Okay, so
I like harmonic. I like playing the harmonica.
Really?
I'm a big harmonica guy. I love music, so like classical music. Yeah.
So, are you aware of how deep anime has infiltrated the gun community, or no? Because we touched on it yesterday.
Yeah.
With Ryan.
I can tell.
Oh, you can tell.
And I've seen it, and I see both sides. I see the old money that hates it, and the new money that's in the new generation.
Yeah,
it's
the boomers versus zoomers.
Yeah, and it's, I don't mind it. I'm into anime, so it makes me happy. It's just there's always gonna be like a negative connotation to anime, no matter how much it's infiltrated or how widely accepted it is.
Well, it may not be that way for long because, like I said last night, anime is becoming like basically kind of the norm nowadays. Like if you go into Barnes and Nobles, You can
there's a manga and anime section.
Well, the thing
if you
is,
go to a Halloween store, there's tons of anime costumes.
well, not just that, but in Barnes and Nobles, there's bookshelves of manga, and then a small end cap of Western comic books. Like, it's simply like in think of anime in this way. Wakfu and Dofus was a French company making anime, so it's kind of becoming the new norm now.
Oh, Wakfu!
Yeah, Wakfu.
That's so well animated. That shit's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of becoming that anime is now becoming like mainstream in a way, which poses its own problems because there are certain people who find it not good in requiring fixing and changing, which I'm sure you're aware of all that nonsense. But who try to purify and regulate anime.
Yeah, that's what just happens when like something becomes mainstream. You get all the bad parts of it too.
Yeah, and like I said, we have Nugget Fest in October, and I'll try and get a picture of all of us around like some of your videos. Because basically, at Nugget Fest, it's literally a gun anime convention in the woods.
Whoa.
Yeah, so Nugget Fest is where we all get together, and we're basically all anime fans. Like people show up and pop. Well, basically, we all go camping out, and you got to ruck down to the location, wherever it is, and then they'll put up like anime banners on their tents, and like they'll walk out in like maid outfits or like uwu patches on chest rigs. They have like Sweetheart magazines they shove in and all that. And there are guys that were like full autos and like really, really rare guns. We all go out there and shoot and have fun.
Yeah. And
if we weren't in fucking California, we'd invite you, but it's going to cost a lot of money to go to Missouri. But we'll try and get you some pictures while we're there. Like,
I would love to.
I'll try and grab some of your stuff and drag it out there so we can get some pictures for you. But I'll go ahead and let the chat have a few cracks at you if they want to. So chat, in the last 10 minutes here, you have any questions you want to ask Moonshine, ask them there, and we'll see what goes on. But I am sorry that you got sick, man.
Yeah. It's okay.
And what's funny is that people were like, I knew Moonshine wasn't coming on, you fucking liar. I'm like, he got sick, shut up.
And like worst timing too.
Yeah. Killjoy says, why the name Moonshine?
Okay, so in high school, we were watching Remember the Titans.
Yeah. Football movie.
And do you guys know the gay football player from California? Sunshine!
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't like actively looking to date or attracted to girls at all much in high school. I was just whatever about it,
They weren't animated.
So I wasn't into that either. So, I was very plain. But I sat in front of two football jocks, and they were checking out this girl that walked in, and he was like, yo, did you see? And he's like whispering to me, did you see like Christina Wexler's ass? And I'm like, no. He's like, don't you think the ass is fat? I'm like, I mean, sure. I mean, I don't really care. Like, what? You not into ass, Moon? I'm like, I don't care. It's like, what are you trying to say, Moon? You gay? You gay, Moon? And you know how kids are back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, dude, Moon's gay. He's not into ass. He's not into Christina S's fat ass. So we're watching. It's English class. We're watching Remember the Titans, and they're like, Sunshine. And these two football jocks, they're like, oh, Sunshine is gay, and they're like, Moonshine.
I see. So you got your name in school then. That's your old name. But you kind of took it and owned it then.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, Moonshine, whatever.
Moonshine works. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like Moonshine. Yeah, my name's Moon, and then they're gonna call me Moonshine. So that's fine. And that's how I got it.
Interesting.
Yep.
Because I always thought you're like, some kind of like backwoods Korean distiller who's like making moonshine in the mountains or some shit.
I only found out that moonshine was an alcohol in college.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember because back in Oklahoma, there'd be moonshiners on Indian country because they can't get arrested, so they'd be making like big ass things of hooch. Crusader. Oh, so Crusader is one of my army buddies. He's in 10th Mountain, I believe, in New York. He says, "What's your favorite kind of scenes to animate?"
I love really short and intense violent scenes because I feel like they're the most realistic.
I enjoy the bloodshed.
Yeah. Because I love anime, but what I don't like about anime is like the crazy and drawn out fight scenes. It's just I don't know, it doesn't excite me.
So we're in the same boat then. It's kind of like it's too because I'm sure me and Crusader can tell you combat is very short and very clippy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
And
most
I have
violence
a lot of
is
veteran friends. I have a
Yeah.
lot of friends in the military that they always tell me how it is.
yeah. So like they'll tell you like
Mhm.
combat is quick and short and brutal, and it's not really
Yeah.
drawn out. 'Cause if it draws out, you're gonna get shot probably. So
Exactly, or you're gonna
yeah.
run out of ammo or something,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, I get it. And
So, well, what are some of your least favorite, like your least favorite scenes in anime that, like if you see it, you go, oh god, like you roll your eyes when you see it, like in terms of anime.
I hate dudes that talk while they fight.
the fucking monologues and the fucking fight
Yeah, because I'm like, wait, you said you had like 7 seconds. It's been like 2 minutes.
scene. So you probably hate DBs in like a Dragon Ball.
I've never watched Dragon Ball Z.
Hmm.
I don't watch most shonens. I honestly I love live action movies like Sicario,
Sicario, yeah.
Shooter, stuff like that. Where it's just fast, Equalizer, stuff like that. Just gritty movies where like the action isn't like a crazy gunfight, it's just bah bah and then boom. Like moments of tension leading out to like one moment of violence. That's what I like.
So you prefer more grounded violence then? That's like based in reality. Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So you probably like animes or mangas like Goblin Slayer then. Very quick, snappy
I love
combat.
Goblin Slayer. Yeah,
like
Goblin Slayer. It's very realistic. It's gritty.
Yeah, and then what others would you be interested in? Probably like also like Black Lagoon as well. I'm sure.
I've enjoyed Black Lagoon. Roberta's a little crazy for me, a little unrealistically crazy, but I do love her.
What? Really?
Roberta's like peak combat made for me.
I prefer the shorter one personally.
Oh, the Fabiola?
Yeah,
with the
Fabiola.
dual shotguns? Fabiola's pretty sick.
And then what are your favorite mangas to read? Like the ones you're like, I like this a lot. Like what genre do you prefer besides like gory?
I love just atmospheric ones like Blame.
Atmospheric.
Have you seen Blame?
Blame?
By
No.
Blame by Tsutomu Nihei. It's like this kind of like this futuristic world of nothing but cities. It's very very scenic. A lot of like endlessly sprawling like cities and industrial looking things.
Oh,
Whenever there is action,
it looks very
it's like-
gritty then.
It is, yeah. By Tsutomu.
Did they misspell Blam or is it actually Blame?
It's Blame. It's
Okay.
Blame. I don't know why it's called Blame.
Yeah, I was like,
But yeah.
And yeah, so but instead of genres, do you like isekais? Do you like cooking ones? Do you like war ones? Do you like fantasy ones? Like which ones do you kind of like go for first in the big KFC bucket of manga that you want to kind of pick at for a bit?
That's hard to say. I just whatever catches my eye, really. Like if the girl's cute, if the guy's sick, or like if maybe usually excuse me. I watch a lot of the shit I watch from just a small clip or something on Facebook or Twitter, and I'm like that's intriguing. I'll check it out, and then I'll watch a few episodes, and then if it grasps me, then I keep watching, and that's really how it is.
Killjoy says, "What's your unpopular opinion when you have regarding food?"
I'm not big on bread. That's pretty unpopular.
Really? You entire thing called the bread bake, and you hate bread?
Well, that's not my video, I took some other dude's audio and I made a lot of the shit that pops off for me is just someone else's audio, like the Goofy's trial. That's someone else's audio. That's,
Goofy's trial, yeah.
Yeah, that's filthy Frank.
Oh, fucking good again.
Yeah, that's.
So you hate bread? Well, you're probably a rice guy, I assume.
I'm not a big rice guy either. I'm not a
Really?
big carb guy.
Not a carb guy? Man.
Yeah, I'm not a carb guy.
Worst Asian ever. Way to go.
I might be. I'm bad at math and I don't do karate.
I'm bad at math and I hate rice. Worst Asian ever. But see, that's a joke to be that like we can laugh about because we share the exact same.
Yeah, of course
like,
not. Everyone's. I grew up in that age where people still call each other like the slur for gay people. That's like a normal thing. You could just call someone, "Hey, you're gay." That's the time period I grew up in.
Well, like
everything's like snowflake now.
Well, see, I have gay friends. I'm like, oh, I went out with.
Yeah, same. No, me too.
Yeah,
me too. I have tons of gay friends.
And they're funny because I went out with Jake. I was like, oh, cool. That sounds kind of gay though. And like, shut up, because you can make it funny, and your humor offends a lot of people. It's fucking hilarious. And I think like you really reach your peak when you're kind of offensive. Like I think,
actually, unfortunately, actually,
because you reach peak Moonshine and you're like, mildly offensive. I like, and you can't go right
like
into
highly offensive or like shock value.
Yeah. All right, well, all right, Moonshine. I think we've gone for a bit longer than we should, but Killjoy, don't do that. Guard, you're the gay friend. I am not. But anyway, so I appreciate you coming on, despite being a bit coffee. And like I said to you in DMs, next week on Wednesday we're doing Mecha. And I don't know how big in the mecha you are, like Gundam and Mech Warrior and that kind of stuff. But are you into it or no?
I'm not crazy about it.
Not crazy about it. Okay. But I'm saying I'll invite you on if you really like mecha, but if you don't, I'll leave you be. But I do appreciate you coming on. It's actually quite fun, and it's kind of like the peak of my career right now. I was talking to Moonshine on a podcast.
Don't say that, dude.
It is though. Like the day I saw Moonshine, I liked your maybe. Like I actually went outside and screamed at my fucking horses. It was fucking Moonshine. I was so fucking peaked about it.
See, and now you're gonna be like, yeah, I talked to Moonshine once, and it's gonna be the equivalent of, yeah, I talked to an anglerfish once. It was sick. I found it really deep in the ocean. No one's ever gonna see it again.
I talked to the world's worst Asian. It was great.
Yeah, world's worst Asian.
All right, but I know I and many others look forward to more stuff from you for sure. Now that you're all done moving around and still in California for some reason, but you're all moved around. And,
I've been here my whole life.
And when should you be? Because you did the Kurumi thing about 3 weeks ago or so.
Yes.
Okay. So
I'm done moving in. Now it's just a matter of settling in and getting shit out.
Settling, all right. So what should we expect from the Great Moonshine?
Well, you should expect some figure reviews, and then I have a very, very close to my heart series coming that takes place in the world of Shrapnel, but is not about the main characters. Moreover, it takes place in that world, and there will be nods to those characters, but not like obvious.
So original
but it's something
Moonshine
I'm gonna be
OC.
passionate about. Yeah.
Nice. All right, chat.
I hope you all love her because I'm putting a very big part of me inside it. So.
She also hates math.
Oh, true.
All right, so chat, we will see you next Wednesday with Tex the Black Pants Legion talking about Mecha and Moonshine. Thank you for coming on, bud.
All right, thank you.
All right, chat, we'll see you later. Goodbye.